Hey guys, I'm just on a few jobs on my car. You wouldn't have seen this car on the channel before. It's actually my 2006 Subaru Spec C. It's a pretty cool car. I've done, I think, 18 rallies in it now, similar to the Datsun, maybe a couple less. But I did some APRCs in it. I started rallying 4 drives in it. Done, ARCs, APRCs, state rallying, bit of everything. Car's been leased and been down in Tassie. It did Canberra last year in the ARC, and I've got the car back now, which is going to be very handy testing for New Zealand, which is coming up really soon. So yeah, just had the camber was a little bit out there. It's got a flat battery and needs a bit of fuel, so just going to do a few jobs to it, and we'll take it up the track and I'll show you what it's all about. I was just getting a few things ready on the car. Now we're ready, we're up at my test track. So like I said also, you hadn't really seen this car on the channel before. This is a car that really elevated me into rallying. I started rallying in a 240Z, then got an opportunity to drive E&K's Subaru RS, and then I got to drive with Les Walkton in the 2007 Australian Rally Championship in this car. This car had been built in 2005, done a couple of rounds of the ARC, then it got driven by Eli Evans in the 2006 APRC. Got re-prepped, I went down to Tassie, helped Pete Nunn re-prep the car, and then we did the 2007 ARC. We only got 2 rounds in and I crashed the car quite heavily. So the car sat the rest of the year out and I drove a different car, the same spec. And then after that, the car got fixed up. Did a couple more rallies in the car and we actually purchased the car. Did some tarmac rallies in it, and then I've been doing VRCs, some ARCs. 2016 we won, I think, 3 ARCs in the car. And now it's just for a bit of testing and maybe, who knows, we might do some VRCs in it. But today it's all about getting back in the car, getting used to driving a 4-wheel drive again. I haven't rallied this car for 7 years now. It's been leased to a friend of mine down in Tasmania. The guy originally built the car. And we've just got it back. Its most recent rally was the 2023 ARC, where it helped Bodie Reading win the production cup. So that was really cool. But they had a few issues before the rally. The engine had to be rebuilt, but the car's got the forged pistons back in it now. It's still 2 litre, but part of it being down in Tasmania was getting a bit of a birthday. It lost some weight, got some Chrome Molly Cross members, got a Borg Warner turbo. It's around 185 kilowatts at the wheels now. Still got a 34mm restrictor. So if you come and look at the car quickly, it's actually left-hand drive, which Hayden's car in New Zealand isn't left-hand drive, it's right-hand drive, but it's just good to get your head back around that. It's got PPG sequential in it, which is here, and that's the hydraulic handbrake. So yeah, the car's got sort of carbon fibre bits and pieces everywhere. The livery on this car was done in 2016 for the ARC. Absolutely love it. Even now, 7 years on, 8 years on, it's still one of the most exciting liveries I've ever ran, I think. At the minute, there's not really any sponsors on it too, so it looks really cool. The roll cage is a Bond roll cage, done up in Sydney. Come around the back, it's got, 7 taillights, wing, not much in there, but intercooler spray. It's got a different pump on it. This is where we fill the fuel up. It's got the dry brake fittings. I think that's what you call them. And it sounds quite mean. Pretty much one hot dog on the exhaust. Running the braid wheels, and these are just little carbon mirrors, make it a little bit lighter weight. We've got the Aussie flag on the roof, which is a little bit hard to see, but that was part of when we did the WRC. If we look under the bonnet, it's all pretty neat and tidy. And like I said, the bigger Borg Warner turbo. This is like a little bit of heat shielding and also around there. So yeah, the car's got a few mods on it, makes it just a little bit nicer and faster to drive, but it's pretty much built to the production rally car regulations, which are different to what my Datsun's built to. It's built to club rally cars, a few more freedoms, but as you can see in this class, there's still a lot of freedoms, and this car could be taken a lot further as well. This is just the level we went to 10, 15 years ago, and then recently we've done some small updates to the car, which I'm going to find out today how that feels. The suspension is actually Riga, but 20-year-old Riga. So yeah, let's shut the bonnet and we'll go try it out. We're going to drive the WRX, so it's not the easiest to be flying to learn on. It's losing a lot of steer on the front, so I'm having to sort of slow it down and set it up early. Yeah, I'm struggling for apexes. Just because of the tyres? I think so, yeah. So you would have seen by the footage now, I had a big smile on my face. That was a lot of fun, and it's good to iron the bugs out. Comparing the Subaru to the Datsun, the Subaru feels quite heavy and you know, quite slow to react compared to the Datsun because it's so powerful and snappy all the time. But where this feels heavy, it also feels very planted on the road. So it's getting grip, it's driving, it's smooth, it's fast. The suspension's amazing. I just quickly did 2 laps of the big track, and yeah, some of the ruts in there, the car just soaks it up. So yeah, you can probably attack the corners harder than I was thinking you could after driving the Dado. The gearbox, they both have 6-speed sequentials. I much prefer the Hollinger the way that shifts and that works. This changes, you don't feel it as much, and yeah, it's like it's a little bit, almost like it's a little bit stuck, and then it goes to the gear. Whereas the Hollinger and the Dado is just very positive clunk in the next gear. The brake pedal is so hard in this car, the way we've deleted the booster, and the pads probably need a little bit more bitey pads. We ran these old Hoosiers, especially on the small track. We're just talking, it's probably like a content track. You can get about 3 corners from the one spot, but the surface isn't very good. It goes very powdery and there's not much grip, and especially on those, we just had so much wheel spin. But on the big track, it was quite good. So yeah, compared to what I'm used to on the Pirellis and the Datsun, certainly wasn't as much grip out there. And it hasn't rained for a little bit. Like we had a tiny bit of rain last night, but before that, not much at all. The power of the car's good. It probably doesn't come on boost early enough. You sort of load it up, use the torque. By loading it up, what I actually mean is you'll stay up a gear coming into a tight corner, and the revs will drop down, but you're still on the throttle, and you might be sideways, so the revs are coming down, and then when the wheels start spinning and gripping, then your revs start to come back up. That's when I refer to loading the car up. So you load it up, but say a corner where you would look at and go a 2nd gear corner, you try and take those corners in 3rd gear. Use the torque, less wheel speed, more grip, but it's just probably lacking in those spots a little bit when the revs drop a bit too much. But that's okay. That's the first time I've driven the car on this turbo, so we could probably go slightly smaller turbo there, but when it boosts, it's quite good up high. We did a couple of launch control starts. Car actually launched really well, got going better than the Datsun does, that's for sure. I didn't have a passenger at all, so yeah, it's probably a little bit lighter than it would be in a rally with no passenger. I've only got 1 spare tyre, which is probably what you'd run in a rally. I don't have a rattle gun or stuff like that, so might be 100 kilos down, but from the start of the day I was full of fuel. So yeah, that probably pretty much wraps it up. It's been a lot of fun. I'm getting ready for New Zealand now. Probably going to do a couple more laps on the big track just to really keep ironing those bugs out. Won't be the same as the AP4 car, but it's the closest I can get, and it's better than driving the Datsun comparing. So yeah, hopefully it's gone well. By the time you see this vlog, actually, you'll have already probably seen what happened in New Zealand, because we're going to drop this after. But yeah, just so much, thanks so much for following. Keep subscribing, tell your friends about it. And yeah, we're bringing more videos like this if you like it. Cheers.